And this is Randall Watts, a collector on the corner. We're going to do a little different video today, get away from that H for a little bit. What I got here is a 350 gas. Got a C175 engine in it. It don't have a torque amplifier, don't have power steering. It does have disc brakes on it. We'll get to that in a minute. But in 2007, we was square baling. My youngest son, Zach, he was driving this, and he was pulling a 273 New Holland baler, and I was loading the balers up in the field on the truck, hauling the barn while he baled. And he got up on this tractor, and he was pulling that baler. And he's sitting up there, and he's a young, stout teenager. And he was going down the hill with that baler, chugging along and pushing this thing, and it's got live power, and he was trying to make it go slow down that hill where it wouldn't clog up the baler and shear a key on the flywheel. And he was on these brakes, and he was pulling. He pulled so hard on this steering wheel that he broke the spokes off. There's one still on there. Right there against that. And he broke the spokes off, hitting the brakes. And I come back around there and I said, well, let's go get that M. So we went and got that M. That M was a propane M. I brought that old M down there. He said, well, they ain't got live power and all that. And I said, you don't need live PTO to bail. I said, that M, I said, it's got enough power, it'll make every bale anyway. When you come thick run road, you scoot over a little bit and don't take the whole windrow. So he went to baling that M. We finished baling our hay. And that field was a little ways from the house, and every time we left this tractor down there, we come back the next day or two, there wouldn't be no gas in that tank. It was empty. So we could leave that propane tractor down there. It had a mag on it. Didn't even have to leave a battery on it. Just come over there and run up there with your pickup with the jumper cables and hit the starter and fire it up. So we quit using this tractor. And I went down there and put this car banjo steering wheel on it. And I drove it home and I backed it up right here in 2007. So this thing's been sitting here for 15 years. Even old shifter don't want to move too good. Clutch still works. The engine in it isn't stuck because from time to time I would take the spark plugs out, put a little diesel fuel and automatic transmission fluid, mix 50-50 in there. And over the years we borrowed stuff off of it. It had a Delco distributor on it, come out here and turned up like this. I still got it. We had it on another tractor. We borrowed the starter off of it and put on a 300 utility we have. But anyway, what I'm going to do, I'm going to get the whole thing started up. That front tires went flat. That tire there, I believe that tire might be older than the tractor. This old tractor made in the 50s, 55, 6, 7, I believe. But the old tire still got some air in it.
Hey, don't kick it, it might pop.
But you need to be real careful airing up old tires like this. One time I went to air up an old tire like that on the front of a tractor, in front of old Moline. And that sucker blew out, and I was down here like this. And when it blew out, it blew dirt in both of my eyes. I couldn't even see. And I was a long way from where we lived, over at my mom and dad's place. And I couldn't see to drive. And I made it up to my mom and dad's house, and my youngest sister, she's about 13 at that time, had never drove a car in her life. I told her, I said, you're going to have to drive me to town. What? I said, you're going to have to drive me to town. And we had this little old F-85 Oldsmobile that I drove after that day. So I put her behind the wheel of that Oldsmobile, and I'm sitting there, my eyes just hurting like crazy because I blowed all that dirt in them. And she drove about 8 miles to town to where we live. And she stayed there and babysitted my oldest son. He was a tiny baby then. Well, my wife took me to the doctor, and they flushed my eyes out and everything. And that damaged my eyes. And it's just something you don't want to do. Now, I air that tar up, but I'm going to screw a hose on there, and I'm going to stand way back over there when I air that thing up. I'm not going to get down there next to it.
You could wear your welding helmet.
But anyway, my intention is to put everything back on this tractor and start it up today. This is going to be part 1 of the 350 video. And it's a Saturday. No good auctions today, so I'll just do this. And to start off with, I want to talk about covering up exhaust. What you want to do, you don't want to use a can like this. That other 350 we got's diesel. It had a can over the exhaust when I bought it. But what happened, the water would sit up on top of there, and it rusted out and rained down that exhaust. But that old guy took good care of it and have it covered up. He died, and nobody knew anything about that. But it'd take sleeves and pistons and everything to get that 350 diesel going again. And I'm not worried about getting it going. But the best cans to put on the exhaust is these right here. That's like all that
Salmon.
mackerel comes in it.
Salmon and mackerel, yeah.
Yeah. And it's some kind of galvanized metal and all that, and it don't rust that bad. But anyway, see, I got one on there, and I put that old
propane
cap off a propane bottle on top there. So I guess the first thing I'm going to do with this whole thing, I've done open that fuel pit cock, and a little bit of yellowy looking stuff has come out.
Yeah, I seen it. It looks pretty nasty.
But I'm going to pour my favorite elixir of life, I guess you might call it.
Did you get that out of my car?
What? No, I got that off the shelf in the utility room.
Okay.
It's starting to drip a little.
Yay!
I seen a drip.
Yeah, I see another drip.
A little more in there.
Yep, there comes a whole bunch. It's a dripping.
That'll be sufficient for now.
Now, you going to drink that when you get done?
No, but it probably wouldn't hurt you to just kill your worms or something.
No, I'll pass.
Might rot your brains. I don't know. Maybe that's what's wrong with me. Another thing I'm going to do before I start this up, I see people do videos all the time. They'll pull that dipstick out and smell of it and taste of it, and they'll look at that and they'll say, man, that's good, clean oil.
Mm-hmm.
This tractor's had 15 years to sit here. And all the sediments that the detergent was holding suspended in oil settled at the bottom of the oil pan. All of everything, heavy metals and everything in that oil is settled at the bottom of the pan. And the second thing, that transmission fluid and diesel that I've been putting in them spark plug holes, it's mixed in with that oil. The third thing, that oil that's in there was 10W40 Valvoline. And we quit using Valvoline because they took the zinc out of it, and these flat tappet engines need zinc in it. So everything we got now, we run 1540 Rotella like I always run in the semi trucks. We just started running it in the cars and everything, and it seems to work real good. So I'm going to drain the oil out of here and put new oil in it. I'd pull that pan off, but I know this engine's not that dirty inside because I always kept the oil changed, the filter changed and all that. Well, I'm going to drain that oil and put a new filter on it for that. And these old hoses, I'm pretty sure once I get it going, they're going to give up the ghost.
Yeah, they
look pretty crusty.
Yeah, they look bad.
And I'm thinking this was losing a bit of hydraulic oil, and there's a seal at the front of this pump. And I'm thinking some of that hydraulic oil was leaking out and getting in and mixing with the oil anyway. So I'm going to change the oil before I get her started. Anyway, them disc brakes, they'll be all right in the flat grounds. But they ain't worth much in the hills. And this tractor just don't suit me. So what I'm going to do is, I've done ordered new gauges and stuff for it. I'm going to put new gauges in it and change the oil and get it running, put sheet metal back on it. I want this single front wheel for my H I'm working on. I'm going to put that pedestal off that H on there and put 2 front wheels on it. I ain't going to put no paint on it, but I'm going to do that, and I'm going to set it around front with a for sale sign on it. And if I can get close to what I have in it, out of it, I'm going to let somebody else own it. But I'm going to tell them the truth about them brakes that they ain't no good in the hills. You can do what you want with them brakes. Put new seals in there, new brake shoe linings and everything in there, and you go to using it in the hills, them brakes will become glazed and won't stop it. I've done run on that with a 930 case. I done run onto it with a 300 utility, and I run into this 350, them disc brakes, and I run into it with a VAC case too. Them disc brakes just don't do good in the hills. We got some grades that are pretty steep, and you go down one of them grades with a load pushing you, it don't take but just an instant, and you've glazed them brakes over and they don't want to grip no more. You can take them off and buff them up a little bit, put them back in there, and they'll grab for a little while, but it ain't as good as the band brakes. Sometimes the newer ain't better. Anyway, so that's the plan here, and I'm going to try to work that plan. I done drained the antifreeze out of it too. I'll put water back in it, but I'm not going to put tap water back in it. I'll put rainwater in it. I've got a rain barrel around there that catches the water off that shop roof on the other side. It's a big plastic barrel, and I'll get water out of there and put in it. But that's the plan for this, and that's what I'm going to try and do. But the old engine run good. That was the best thing about it, was the engine. It had plenty enough power. So I guess that'll be all for this video, and goodbye and good luck to everybody.
And thank you and subscribe. Bye.